Former President Donald J. Trump recently addressed a gathering of the nation's governors, delivering a speech that was both fiery and familiar to those who have followed his political career. The message was vintage Trump policy pronouncements, criticisms of the Biden administration, and self-promotion. He didn't hold back in expressing his views on the current state of the nation. He touched upon issues from the war in Ukraine to the southern border, energy policy, and education reform. Each topic was addressed with his characteristic bluntness and conviction. One theme remained constant. America, under his leadership, was on the right track. He emphasized his belief that his administration had set the country on a path to success. Now, under Biden, the country is adrift, its values under assault. Trump painted a picture of a nation in decline, struggling with issues that he claimed were previously under control. Trump reiterated his belief that the U.S. has become overly entangled in foreign conflicts. He argued that these engagements have distracted from pressing domestic issues. He also doubled down on his hardline stance on immigration and touted his accomplishments in office. Trump made it clear that he believes his policies were effective and necessary for the country's security and prosperity. Trump's speech included a scathing critique of President Biden's handling of the war in Ukraine, emphasizing what he called a lack of decisive action. He blamed the Biden administration's perceived weakness for emboldening Russia, suggesting that stronger leadership could have deterred aggression. Shifting to domestic policy, Trump criticized Biden's handling of the economy, immigration, and energy production, arguing that these issues have led to widespread dissatisfaction among Americans. He accused Biden of driving the country into the ground with what he described as socialist policies, which he believes are detrimental to the nation's prosperity. Despite the criticisms, Trump outlined his vision for a brighter future, focusing on American energy independence and the potential for job creation in the energy sector. He urged the Biden administration to unleash the country's oil and gas reserves, arguing that this would not only lower energy costs but also strengthen national security. Trump also reiterated his unwavering support for law enforcement, promising to restore law and order across the nation and to ensure that communities feel safe and secure. Trump's speech touched upon a dizzying array of issues, leaving no stone unturned in his critique of the current state of affairs in America. He railed against the radical left's control over education, denouncing what he sees as indoctrination in schools, and also took aim at transgender athletes, arguing they have an unfair advantage in women's sports. On election integrity, Trump continued to sow doubt about the legitimacy of the American electoral system, a topic that has been a cornerstone of his rhetoric since the 2020 election. He repeated his unsubstantiated claims of widespread voter fraud, insisting that the election was stolen from him and that the system is rigged. Trump called for stricter voting laws, echoing Republican-led efforts to make voting more difficult, particularly for minority communities. His speech offered a clear window into his grievances, priorities, and vision for America, painting a picture of a country in need of drastic change. It was a reminder that he remains a potent force in American politics, capable of mobilizing a significant portion of the electorate. Whether he runs for president again in 2024 remains to be seen, but one thing is certain: Trump will not fade from the public eye anytime soon, continuing to influence the political landscape. Trump's speech to the nation's governors was a blend of familiar themes, fiery rhetoric, and unsubstantiated claims. He railed against his perceived enemies and offered a vision of America restored to its former glory. The speech served as a reminder of his enduring appeal among a significant segment of the American electorate. As the country looks ahead to the 2024 presidential election, Trump's shadow looms large. American politics will continue to be shaped by the forces that Trump unleashed, for better or for worse.